Hello, I'm Dynast Amir.
So I reached out to another friend of mine. I said, look, I need to go on vacation somewhere. Where should I go? He said, go to Africa. And not only am I going to go, I'm going to explore a new country. So I went to Tanzania, South Africa, Namibia, Mali, Senegal, Morocco, Liberia, Namibia, Kenya, the Voodoo Festival in Ouida, Gambia, Togo, Cote d'Ivoire. Sierra Leone, Ghana, Nigeria. It's been a beautiful experience, just learning more about our culture, our indigenous culture. So Uhuru means freedom in Swahili. I'm in search of my roots. In finding that, I would experience my Uhuru, which is freedom.
Till next time, Dynast Amir, I'm out.
Everyone, we are live again. Dynast Amir, Search for Uhuru. Thank you all. Thank you so much for joining. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you share. Make sure you subscribe. Also, if you have not bought the documentary, make sure you go and buy the documentary. Visit searchforuhuru.com. Searchforuhuru.com. Let me bring up the screen real quick. Visit searchforuhuru.com and go and buy the documentary. If you have not bought the documentary yet, please go and buy the documentary, everyone, and hit the like button again. Please hit the like button. Oh, that's the wrong site. Go to searchforuhuru.com, searchforuhuru.com to get the documentary. Also, tours, got a couple of tours coming up. Rolling to Sierra Leone in November. Again, rolling to Sierra Leone in November. Shout out to Fitzgerald Stevens in the chat room. He's also live with us too. We are rolling to Sierra Leone in November. If you're interested in joining us, please visit donfo.africa. Again, donfo.africa for the documentary. Visit searchforuhuru.com. And citizenship will be available to those who qualify. Again, citizenship will be available to those who qualify. Okay? And you'll get this right here, this nice green passport. So if you're interested in joining us in Sierra Leone in November, this November coming up, please visit donfo.africa, donfo.africa, everyone. Holler at me. Without further ado, we got a special guest on with us today. And it's been a minute. And listen, Fitzgerald, listen. You know you my brother. You know I love you, but I just got to ask you a question. I got to ask you one question before we get started. You there, Fitzgerald?
Yeah, I'm thinking the question is what it's going to be. I'm stealing myself, but don't let me go ahead and assume anything.
So, who won the national championship last year?
Yeah, that is
college football.
It's good to see you back, friends.
I'm glad to be back, Fitzgerald. But can you answer my question, sir? Can you answer my question? Who won the national championship last year?
Tell us about the trip to Prince and how
Fitzgerald, why are you deflecting?
how
I'm
is
trying to change the
no, I'm
subject.
not
I'm just
deflected.
asking a question. Fitzgerald, I'm just asking a question because I forgot. I forgot.
I just don't want to keep going over this, man. You know, and over time, you know.
Fitzgerald, it's part of it, Fitzgerald. It's part of it because I forgot. Again, I forgot who won a national championship last year, but I know you follow college football.
Well, go ahead and Google it. Go ahead and Google it, young man. You'll easily find your answer. You know. But Prince,
okay, let me go ahead. Let me go ahead and Google it right now. I'll go ahead and Google it right now. But Fitzgerald, I know you know. Just to save us all time, Fitzgerald. Who won a national championship last year?
What we need to say, man, is the outstanding response you keep getting for this documentary. I'm liking to know how this thing is being received, not only in the U.S., European, but definitely the continent markets. I'm being real serious about that because just the tagline and introduction alone is pretty dang it's pretty dang inspiring, very inspiring. I look at it from a different way. I've known you, way before you are who you are now. No, let me say that you always been who you are now. I known you before you decided to release it, should I say? And man, to see my friend out there and with this type of global outreach, and I'm looking at all those different countries and all those different cultures, and you're interacting like you've been to every single one of them in another life before. It's just it's just really, really captivating to me. I mean, I'm looking at that, and man, I'm not going to use the word goosebumps, but it definitely comes with something. Hey, Alana, I don't give excuses about that. I'm not going to entertain this foolishness. You know what? You pull up. Alana is actually one I like, so she's getting me respond. But you pull up Pratt broadcast. I admitted to this man over and over and over and over again. I'm not coming up here to open up with his yesterday news. I care less about that team, and he knows it. So I ain't need to keep saying that, man. Okay. I'm not going to react anything to this. Nothing. Y'all Google it if you want to find out. Probably a huge lot of cats jumping on the Georgia Bulldogs wagon and everything else like that. But hey, Google up my alma mater. You'll see what we're really about to. So good.
Hey, listen, I'm not jumping on nothing because I'm
yes,
alumni.
Yes, you are, man. Yes, you are because you can't stand.
Fitzgerald, I'm alumni, Fitzgerald. How much jump on the wagon I graduated from there?
You fun night. You you got a team. That basically did something. And 2 times in 40 years, whoop-de-doo. Okay, you done got something. And every week you seem like I'm supposed to bow down to the Bulldog Nation.
You are, Fitzgerald. You are. You are.
Man, no, dude. Because to me, you ain't. To me, you're just like a broken clock. You got it right 2 times in 40 years. Then you want to celebrate on that, man. Come back to me when you know how to play some ball. Which incident I told you won't be there this year. No, that's not much I'm going to speak on this, man. I don't really want to, you're getting annoying to me with this bully dog stuff, man.
Don't
go nowhere, man, and find your little magazine cover and your little T-shirt and your paper elf that NASA made for you, man. Nobody want to hear about this. No. So people expect to hear a good show. We don't have a comedy hour here. Okay, man. You can read, and I know your audience. I know your audience can, seeing you hold that up so many times. And you know what, Dynast? Let me go ahead and say this, man. I never see you do that except when I come on. Out of all the shows you have, I'm the one particularly singled out that you have to show that toilet paper magazine to. That just ain't right. Just ain't right, man. I never see you do it with all the other great guests. You actually take them serious. But I come on here, man, it's Clown Fitzgerald. Come on.
Fitzgerald, I take you serious. What you talking about, Fitzgerald? I take you serious.
Dynast. On September 8th, Friday, 58 years old that day, brother.
How old?
58.
58. Mm-hmm. Oh man, we'll have a special birthday celebration for you.
Well, man, you don't have to do that. I'm feeling pretty good. Hopefully, the Lord allow me to see it. So I'm feeling pretty good, man. Boy, it went by pretty dang fast.
Did it?
No, went by pretty fast.
Well, I'm 40 for sure. I remember when I met you at your auto repair place off of.
Man, what you about 24? Maybe 24, 23?
like 24, 23, like like 24.
And you just turned 40.
Just turned 40.
Okay, so now y'all see why I talk to this man like I do, your audience. Oh man, he been he been doing this to me, ragging me down. Hey, but you know what, ladies and gentlemen, I'm a sore loser because I would have did the exact same thing to him.
I know you would have.
If I was in this position,
I know you would have. I know you would have. I know you would have.
Okay, man, but I gotta keep my word. I can't say anything about that team. I told the people maybe on the next broadcast we'll go ahead and do it, but not this. I told these people we ain't gonna talk about this, man. Talk to me, Prince. What we getting ready to get into today?
So Fitzgerald is the community in Black America. So guys, I used the picture of the Supreme team and on the thumbnail. I used that photo because Fitzgerald, all I see now.
Hold on. Miss Georgia done started something. She says she's rocking with LS Who.
LSU. Yeah, that don't count. Yeah, that don't count.
You lost to Florida State. Good God, man. I wouldn't put that public. And we played Southern. Southern going to beat you on the band. Southern's band is
on the
better
band. Yeah, on the band.
They're definitely going to beat you on the band. But I'm going to sit up there and say you decide to chime in. That's good. LSU. Man, find me an opponent besides them. Bless you too, Mr. Rob. Find me an opponent besides LSU. Is there anybody else out there to play in the West? We got Texas this year. Texas.
You got Arkansas. Arkansas is looking good.
They got that little phony bore on their head helmet.
So here you go, hating Fitzgerald. Here you go.
Dude, I don't have to hate. I'm Alabama alumni. What is there to hate? I've been one since 1988. I don't have to hate. I really don't. There's not a team in this country that is better than me. Period. Who
won a national championship last year, Fitzgerald?
Last year, man. We won it about something like 10 years or whatever, man. But that's last year. What's going on, man? See you on the field.
So, Fitzgerald, if you guys make it to the SEC championship game, if you guys make it, that's a strong if.
Yeah, I'm sorry, man. If we had that little cupcake schedule that you have, that'd be a thing.
Oh boy, here we go.
That little schedule you got. Don't touch me. Y'all out there playing flag football on your schedule this year, man. National champions.
Oh man, here we go.
I'm telling you the truth, man.
But you're right. You got the last part right, though. National champions. You got the last part right.
I'm telling the truth, man. Talk to me, man. These people did not come here to hear Fitzgerald and Dynast at the comedy hour in the afternoon. They came here to hear significant information, mostly about you, Mr. Amir. No. So we, of course, man, of course.
Well, you're the guest, Fitzgerald. You're the special guest. They came to see you.
I don't feel like I that title doesn't belong to me, special guest. I mean, I'm just a friend of yours, just shopping up, man, and who has really taken such a liking over the years. What we've been broadcasting going on 3 years together now, because my channel's been in 2 years. My channel's been in 2 years, and I think we broadcasted together about 3 years. So I've really taken a special liking and fondness to your audience. I meet some great people. I'm meeting people, and I'm hearing views that, let's just frankly, I haven't really been exposed to, as far as for different lines of thinking, and it's really refreshing. It's great, especially when I hear from my brothers and sisters over at the continent. So much has been information has been assumed by a lot of people, Black Americans over here and in the States, and a lot of Africans over in Africa, about the different prejudice and different misunderstanding. And then along come this guy named Amir, who bridges the gap to that. And it turns out that many of the Africans, I'm not going to say all, are interested in our culture over here in African American, to see how we deal our business and what some of our cultures is. And then we're certainly interested in that. Many of us, have had this shaping by NBC, CBS, ABC, and all these Fox News and all these other outlets that seem to have a narrative that it's almost designed for us not to really get to know each other. I'm not going to say we're one people, you know, that's not the thing. African Americans but a lot of us don't happen to know where we came from. I'm not one of them, but we see Africa as a whole. We don't see it as a 54 nation with the different tribalism. When we talk Africa, we're talking as a conglomerate, the whole continent. So that's where our affinity comes. Unfortunately, or rather fortunately, that's not the case in Africa, because you guys are a distinct people with distinct mannerisms, traditions based on centuries and centuries of formulating your own identity and stuff. And so that's one thing you can educate us on. There's a particular noticeable physical difference between East Africans and West Africans. This is fact. And then definitely I can look over there like at Cape Verde, the Cape Verde Islands. They are very, very different. More look a lot like very light skinned Ethiopians to me, or Eritreans to me. But you know, the night and day. You have the South Africans, the Botswanians, the Moroccan, and all kinds of the diversity. And so we really need that thing to really help us understand. So along comes this guy Amir, who seems to travel all over the continent. And he flows in a way that I've never seen before, especially with African American. And there's been some incredible scholars, as far as in that, but I don't see many of them that didn't have a YouTube channel, didn't have the number of exposure you have. So he's taken us from top Morocco down to the bottom down to South Africa, from the west over to Sierra Leone, Nigeria, even over to the east, far as Kenya. I don't know if he's been to the Horn of Africa. So we got a guy that people are interacting with, and they're interacting with this American, and he seems to embrace their cultures while not giving up his. While not giving up his, giving them a sense of who we are, and just paint a real cool picture. Like, man, you mean tell me Black Americans like that? Or he's ringing like, man, you really tell me like Africans are like this? You mean they don't mind us coming over? Because there is a consensus, and it's been done for a while. It used to be they would use adjectives like the darkest Africa. That is a play on words, like it's uncivilized, like as if a lot of European nations are so civilized, and so as if it's to be stayed away from and to be avoided. Meanwhile, you start understanding the Berlin Conference. You start understanding the divide and conquer strategy. Yeah, they say it's all. You don't need to go over there, but we'll go over there, grab the resources, buy the land, establish our own colleges over there, do what we need to do. But you can't come. Y'all don't need to go over there, but we can do this. You see, Europe is going over there. They travel there like many of us would travel to the Caribbean, and then now we're just waking up, going over there. The majority, like a huge lot of people who don't have the passports, a huge lot of people who wouldn't do that, and that is a huge part for this man right here. Am I saying it's solely because of him? No, but for his audience, for his 108,000 subscribers that he reached, believe me, he's having a major impact on showing just what that land can be, just what it can be, and bridging thing. I wouldn't be uncomfortable over there. I mean, I have the type of personality. You can drop me off anywhere. I'm going to make friends. That's just the way I believe. But I'm very comfortable. I'm more comfortable there to head into Europe. I was talking to a couple of students, international students here, around the college coast I live by, University of South Florida, and they were Portuguese, Jitzel Brazilian Portuguese. And so, knowing me, it came up. I said, hey, you know what? I thought about Brazil, but I hear you guys got a hell of a race problems down there. Actually, she said, well, I said, I actually understand, that a lot of Black Brazilians are being murdered, being killed. You don't really speak out at. You got hate squads going around there killing, and they admitted that. They said, well, And she said, well, yeah, that's when they was brought over for slavery. And the term slavery, I recoiled at that term, Prince. I recoiled just like a certain Asian lady I met not too weeks ago. You know, she was talking about the mannerism with black people, how we got to put them in a place. Man, I checked those so dang bad. You know, it was ridiculous. And then apologize. That attitude that people seem to have, and black Americans, we're at an advantage. We're at a great advantage than a lot of people around the world, because we've lived in this stuff for like 400 years. We're very creative. We're very resilient. We're very bold. We deal with a lot of hate stuff like that with us. And so, but when it comes to Africa, we got like a soft spot. And once again, we process Africa as a whole, not the 54 countries. We look at it. If someone say they're African, believe it or not, you're going to get a lot of you're going to get love and respect mostly from the majority of us, because we really want to know. When you say that, what you had told us a code word, like, tell us about it, because we're not hearing. I want to hear it first from you. And so, not that we're trying to step on anyone's culture, but you know, we know not all Africans see it that way. And for the average Black American, he don't really care. You know, we really don't care. We used to people not liking us. We're used to opposition. So hey, if we want to give you the respect, and you know, if it's not reciprocated, we'll just leave you alone. We don't really need nobody. You got that, cause that's the way we have been forced to think. But Prince, everything with that, and not everyone's like that. You know, not everyone's like that. That's the one I want to work with. But Prince just embraces that, because this is really a stage that I don't really see many people doing. There is, I think, two Niacke, Niacke. He's been on your show, very successful YouTube bearded gentleman. You know, does a lot of traveling throughout the continent. You were instantly recognized, man. You know, yeah, dark skinned brother. You know, look like he should be an economic professor somewhere. But I think his channel is 2NEICHK or KI, and that's his channel. I'm a subscriber of his, and he's definitely been on this show. And you know, so he also presents that information to us in a different, like yourself. He travels and he goes around. So I'd like to thank you for that, man. That's why your stuff is so sorely needed. So hopefully that quiets the introduction. But Dynast, man, keep doing what you're doing. You have no idea the effect you're having. I mean, you really don't. You know, you could be larger. Yeah, I'll say it. Instead of you saying it. Yeah, you could be 200 and 500,000 right now if you wanted to. If you was to throw a little crazy content in there and throw a little bit, somebody's draw swinging from a light pole in a dorm room and stuff like that. All that kind of foolishness. Who tagging who tagging who doing whatever. You got some snot on your face. I mean, what the hell are these people be coming up with this stuff? No, that is no, I'm not even gonna say it. You think what the hell you want? I don't care. What that's doing is, like, a lot of people sincerely want to know, and we appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it. And hey, listen, someone was hating on Herschel Walker. Don't you hate on Herschel Walker?
Herschel Walker. Here's the thing. What I like to see, man. You know, and people can criticize, and people can really do what they want to do. But if a man has the guts enough to get up, if a man has the gut enough to get out there to compete and go in a task, and put it on the line to at least compete, at least to try, you know, that man deserves some respect. I mean, he really does, because it's easy to sit up there and take criticism, give criticism, when you're sitting on the sidelines talking about how great you would do and what how you would do it better, but you don't have the courage enough to get out in the arena. I don't subscribe to that philosophy, Prince. You know, and ladies and gentlemen, that was one of the things that kind of really kind of held me back when I got ready to start my channel. You know, with Prince Amir and brother encouraged me to do it. Man, I didn't really think I had anything to offer. I could come to talk on his show, but I didn't think I had anything to offer until Prince was the one that really told me, hey, Fitzgerald, you got to get ready for this. You're going to take the critics. You can't worry about it. Once I understood that, it's easy to launch out. So man, and we appreciate not only you, Prince, but many of the contributors on here that give their opinions and try to is so good positiveness between the two continents, and B hold credibility, hold how should I put it? Accountability, should I say, to people who are doing it wrong and who could be doing better and everything because man, yes or no, Prince, on the world global format, we're all looked at as black people on the world global format in the racist agenda and it comes from more than just it sometimes can come from more than just white skinned people. It can come from many other different people, some of them with skin darker than us. We're all looked on as the fact of we're black people. Do you know there are Indians people out there who are darker than me with this tan that I have down in Florida and right. Hair as straight as a ruler, considered an insult for you to call them black. Right. There are Bangladesh people who would fit that same thing. We're going through a thing right over here right now, and it's coming up and it's getting a lot of attention on YouTube. It's talking about the Hispanic racism towards black people here, and some of them. When I say this is not all, but some, it's a big deal. The African Latino, how racism even affected down there simply because of the black skin, and so it really has to be called out. And no more just we're trying to understand. They need to get more trained in the education. Hell, you don't need to be trained and more educated to understand you being an idiot, to understand you being cruel and hateful. What's the training for that? And Dynast, on that final thing, man, you remember that one lady I told you I had to really check on that, and what I did tell her after I tore her a new one, unapologetically, I told her, listen, all these people come over here, your people included, and every damn other minority you see come over here. Wouldn't been for the blood and the sweat and tears of Black America, none of the shit would exist. That's fact. You guys come over here just to ride on what we already established, and then all of a sudden now let me clarify that. We're the one that marched. We're the one that would have put it down. We're the one that first started out, man. Dude, we ain't dealing with this no more. We don't do that. That's one of the things that make black people unique. When they finally had enough and they get up and we're just going to decide to seize our thing, or should I say, make a people unique. But right over here in this country, it's this country. Black Americans were the one that engineered the civil rights. All that stuff where you can go in and you can go to neighborhoods, you can go to these colleges. It didn't used to be like before we stood up. And then so other groups would come in here, and on our things, walk on what we established, and then all of a sudden start discriminating against us. And we have a hell of a problem. We don't have no problem with calling you out. And so that's how I'm seeing it. At my age right now, Prince, I'm too old to play with you. We call it the way it is, man. And so thank you for giving platforms where you're actually exposed, because I see you jump on stuff like this and everything like that. So we appreciate it, man. Thank you for inviting me to your show, and I appreciate it. And guys, thank you for contributing. Thank you for the comments. I love it. Love it seeing it coming in and everything like that. Just thank you guys for taking your time to watch us. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. So, Fitzgerald, with that being said, like we understand what Black Americans have done in the past, the marching, the fighting. What are we doing to move forward in regards to pushing innovation and building?
Well, I come to really, mine is leaning towards with very, very little exception, extremely little exception, little breathing room. I think we definitely should explore having our passport. We definitely should explore having another passport in a nation and or nations that are more conducive for us to be able to live like a human being. I mean that's what I see. I for one, in my years, and and I have a plan that I actually want to leave here. I want to leave here. At least stay out the country probably 9 months out of the year. Why 9 months? Well, this is what I know. America. I'm a U.S. born, U.S. citizen. My family's been here for several hundred years. Heck, my family's owned property just alone up my home state, Alabama, for 150 years. But straight like that. So I'm always going to have an affinity to the United States, but I really want to see how else, people are living, as far as who look like me, without a lot of this, without all this mindset, like you got to constantly tip around and be super aware. And that's what it is over here, man, for black people, especially black Americans. It's almost like you have this internal built-in guard. And not that you have this like spidey sense, Dynast. Maybe you can explain a little bit better. You can like feel, when things can go awry. You can like feel when someone's getting ready to pop off and do you more harm. Not only you dealing with that attitude, you're definitely dealing with it through law enforcement and particularly white cops coming into black neighborhoods and think they could do all things, and they hide behind a piece of tin and qualified immunity, and nobody on both sides of the deal is checking them on that, and so they literally have a license to murder. No. And it went for video cameras, and you could imagine what they was doing right there. But no, everyone always keeps talking about education. That's what it means to be a black American here. What it means is to be basically put through the circles when you're trying to go employment. Well, thank God, many of us are starting our own businesses now, which is what it should have been. We're seeing this type of cruelty and hatred, especially done in the legal system. We're seeing it done in the disparity in the medical system. Many of people, don't make a difference in your monetary class. They're mistreated within the medical system. In other words, they have a higher infant mortality rate, so-called higher disease rate, and any of these things like that. So it's a being a perpetual state of always on guard. I want to go somewhere where I feel like I could just let my guard down. I could just I could just be able to like say, hey, when I say something to someone or when I encounter different people or crowds, I'm not scanning the door, and I'm not looking at things, and I'm not thinking, hey, well, if this pop off right here, and that cat right on my right, the way he's looking, the way the energy I'm feeling him, if he come out of the pocket, there's the exit sign, or there's that chair that I need to break over him to save my life. I mean, you guys, it's not a joke, and I'm not being exaggerated right in there. Other people don't think like that, because in there, all these other forces, the medical establishment, the criminal, the police, they're their friends. They always crying more for to support the blue. Yeah, because their kids aren't getting knees in their back and knees on their neck, or snatched out for any little thing, or having all this kind of hatred projected them. 14-year-old kids, 15-year-old kids, pregnant mothers. We're seeing this all over professionals, and we're seeing this. And after a while, you're like, wow, what would it be like to live free? I think that's just a good thing. What would it be like to live free? And I want to find that out somewhere. Exactly where, I don't know. Maybe with this channel right here with Prince, but I don't know. But I do believe it exists. And Mr. Jughead, I certainly know it doesn't exist in England, because when I look at stuff coming from you in England and London, over in Germany, when I look at stuff you get, heck, you guys, especially England, you guys look like you're a copy of the United States, really. The way black people are done over there, and I know it ain't in Brazil, because what I saw down there, so that's what I'm looking for. Just the right to be free as a person, free as a man, to be free to live my life in peace, without always having to be in war mode all the time. That's what I want. But this is my country. Ain't nobody running me up out of here. You know, no, ain't nobody. This is my country as well as anybody who came here. You know, and so at the end of the day, I am an American. No, Mr. Jughead, good to see you, man. Oh, thank you for tuning in when I made that video on my channel, man. I appreciate that so much.
Yeah. Dynast, thank you for having me, Dynast. Thank you, my brother. Fitzgerald, thank you for having me on your platform. Yeah, Fitzgerald, we appreciate you, man. Fitzgerald, we appreciate you. I appreciate you, what you've done. I said time and time again, African Americans over the last 200 years have been the most productive, creative blacks on the planet. That's a fact. That's beyond dispute. So I appreciate you. The Africans talk shit. Ignore those fools. Don't worry about them. Their time's coming. We appreciate those Africans with sense of history. Look at your receipts. Lewis Latimer, Benjamin Benneker, Elijah McCoy, Jack Johnson, Black Wall Street, Garrett Morgan. But I can go on and on. Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Medgar Evers. What you've done. So that's just the tip of the iceberg. So we know.
Excuse me for interrupting, Mr. Jughead, but this comment I cannot let slip, and I gotta read it. It's by Super Mike 2164, and he said some words like, "God, man, I hope that's not true." He said, "We have to build the place you speak on." All caps. We have to build a place, which is denoting to me that place doesn't exist, and I hope that is so wrong. Can either one of you men expound upon that? Because that's very disheartening to a man like myself who's looking for that place, and for Super Mike to come in and say, "Man, we got to build it." A place that's very disheartening for being a man who's 2 ticks from 60 in a few days. Like, man, it's not there. So could either one of you guys just expound upon that? So, Mr. Super Mike, I appreciate that. I appreciate that comment, man. That's a profound comment, and I definitely want to talk about that.
Dynast, should you want to go or should I go?
Nah, you can go ahead, but I'll put the link in the chat room. Have Super Mike call in and explain himself.
Well, Fitzgerald, unfortunately, Super Mike is correct. But even Africa, our fatherland, motherland, we be 7 decades of so-called independence. And it brought one look. I'm very people, especially with Nigeria. Nigeria should be superpower, with resources and intellect. Because of misleadership and retarded medieval tribalism, we're back. People are shitting in the streets in 2022. That's embarrassing, So Supermac is correct, but we will build it. But it's embarrassing. The last 7 decades, we've got a few enclaves here and there, like in Nigeria. Got to be able to rich go. But as a whole, as a collective, no, because of misleadership and medieval tribalism and backwardness and bad leadership, we're not where we should be. Africa should be by default leading the planet, not black supremacy, but by default, with our resources, our size, our geographic relocation. Africa should be leading the planet, not China, not the EU, not America, us. So, but it will come. I mean, like I said, Fitzgerald and Dynast,
I'm reminded of a man, 2 men exactly, but either one of them would speak rock hard opinions on base about that. But I'm reminded of Brandon, far as this, and I'm inside Brandon's head, and his heart on this one. Brandon would say like, "Okay, enough of that. What y'all gonna do? Okay, well, enough of that. You already got that. Okay. Well, where you gonna go? What you do in the meantime?" And that's a dang good question. I mean, me, I plan on finding somewhere, and take that chance. I'm leaning more towards towards Panama City, down there. I've heard some good things about it. And so what I'm gonna do is just touch and go, Prince, similar a lot like you done, and see what's actually a good fit for me. But I do want a citizenship somewhere. Case, and I think it's vital, man. And thank you for showing the way, Prince, that we do have more than one citizenship in this country. What if it does get so bad that we got to go? I mean, what if it gets so bad, as far as we have to get out of here? Where would we go?
Fitzgerald, you see what's going on. Well, go ahead, Michael. Are you Super Mike?
Yeah, that's me. I'm Super Mike. What's up?
Okay, go ahead.
What's up, guy? I'm just out and about. I'm just really quick. Want to just kind of clarify the comment. And this is the situation. Is this? Black America for decades and decades, for years and years, for actually centuries, we've had an idea of freedom drilled in our head. And actually, most of us have that idea, that same idea that you articulated earlier. That's very harmonizing to us as the idea of freedom. We're not going to actually find that anywhere on earth, the idea that we won, unless we take a place and build and protect that place and build a place, because that's the idea that was drilled into our spirit. So, we can keep, we can go to other places, but you're always going to be an alien in somebody else's culture. They might be nice to you, but if too many of you start coming over there, then you're going to have a problem. This is just normal. We are a particular unique group of people. We had a unique experience, so we have a unique idea. So we have to do the fighting. There's a few generations that have to do the fighting. We have to be the rough group of generations. And then, once you understand what needs to be done, you take over an area and control your resources, and then you start implementing your idea of freedom. So I just want to, just drop that. I'm getting off and just keep listening to you guys.
Hey man, you are 100% correct. And Mr. Amir, go back to Africa. This gentleman I was thinking about. What I was speaking about.
What you said?
I had the name wrong, man.
Yeah.
The bearded brother, looked like an economist, like that's him, And so, shout out to you. Go back to Africa, man. I am a listener to your show, and don't think just because I don't put a comment in there, man, I'm not listening to many other people. I love the work that you're doing over there. I love the way you're painting. I love your wellness. So next to Amir, I really, you're about the other one I'm really looking at far as what I wanted to get the African experience as much as possible, virtually or feel like. But you and Amir are unique with this with me. You actually make me feel that I have boots on the ground walking right along with you. And I'm learning right along with you. So thank you. But this is the man I was speaking about, Prince.
Well, thank you, Fitzgerald. Cool. I appreciate you, man, for your kind words. And I thank you, Adonis, for having me. Peace, blessings to each and every one of you, to include our brother Jughead, one that is there. I just wanted to call in because I know that we have this notion that we are not building. And it surprises me that, we have this mindset that we're so tied to America, like we can't leave it. I don't get it. There's a huge continent in Africa that Dinas has shown a plethora of countries, of villages, and small areas or big cities, and I'm doing the same. And there are others who are living in the continent that are showing the efforts that not just us as African Americans, but even the local people that have these communities that one can be part of. I don't think we're aliens when coming into the continent. If we look at ourselves as trying to be part of the African experience, sometimes I cringe when I see that we are trying to do African American communities, separating ourselves from the rest of the continent. But if people would just go through the records of what we have done. Dinas, I said in the chat, Dinas is a legend. He has definitely went further and deeper than I've gone. I tell people I just give a taste of Africa, but I love when I used to watch Dinas from 4 years ago, and man, how you go into the villages all in the middle of nowhere of Africa, where I kind of just try to give people a glimpse of maybe more of a city, more of a modern, more of a, of what they're used to, that they can see that, it's more developed than what the Europeans have shown and stuff. You can find those places. I love the villages. I tell you, villages to me is better than the city areas. But I think we have this notion in coming from America that we are not building. I went to Israel to show people in Dimona, Israel, that the brothers and sisters who left in 1969 who exist there with a community of Black Wall Street, of business owners, and have manufacturing. And there are places around the world that we're doing it. I think we're too afraid to leave out of America because of our dependency. We think it's home. We think it's the all to be all, the greatest country we like to say in the world. And it's so far from the truth. And we're doing it in other countries, whether it's in Mexico, whether it's in South America, I can only show so much in my travels because I've been down in South America, in Mexico. There are people in communities down there who are doing it. It's just people believe they can do it in America. But time and time again, we've seen, and I've done videos, and you have talks, Dynast, and America's destruction when it comes to our wanting to move forward, whether it was the Marcus Garveys and the FBI's tear down them, or the Black Panthers, the FBI tear down.
Hey, go Black, real quick before I forget. I want to answer this question. Go Black, but finish what you're saying. Give me your thoughts on what's going on in Jackson, Mississippi. But go ahead. Once you get done with your statement.
Okay. Yeah. I did a video of Pastor Geno Jennings, who was sharing when he was called in because of the Hebrew Israelites circled his church, and they wanted him to arrest them for breaking some laws. And he shared how the police officers openly admit that 83 to 91% of the prison systems are filled with Black folk, and yet it's a business. And so then when we see that this dismantle of effort that we do in America, trying to build community, trying to be positive for our own people, it will be dismantled. And we act like that we still can do it in America. My hat's off to those who want to continue that effort. I'm not trying to be negative and rain on your parade if you do want to do that effort in America, but do your history check. Yeah, Africa's not perfect. Africa is not perfect, but it's mighty funny when I'm seeing brothers like Dynast, myself, and others who can go in, who can tear down walls, who can get people citizenships, who can get people in ways of people to get land, who can get people in businesses and doing these efforts outside of America. Well, God doggone, what more can people do? I'm just saying it's time to really wake up and go through the records of our videos. Go deep into it. I'm not sure, Dynast, what you're referring to when you say Jackson, Mississippi. I'm a little bit behind in some of the current events.
Their water. I'm fat. Brandon probably could speak on it, but they ain't got no water. The city.
Yeah. Yeah, I did see a video or two of that, and I just shook my head. I said, "There you go. That's just another of what was it? Indiana? They had the tainted water.
Flint, Michigan.
Flint, Michigan. It's just a sign of the times of again, just a recycling or a repeat of what's been happening time and time again. Go ahead, my brother Jughead.
Go Black, welcome, brother. Welcome, Brandon. Yeah, go Black. Please, you don't give enough credit. You guys have done a great job in America. See, I said before, it's not you guys have done a fantastic job. Last 5 decades, you've been misled. That's the problem. It's not your fault. Since the death of Malcolm X, Carlos, Medgar Evers, Fred Hampton, who else? There's 4. There's the 4. I call them the fantastic 4. Malcolm X, Medgar Evers, Fred Hampton, Dr. King. You've been misled by a group of scoundrels and coons. They misled you to vote for Democrats. And so it's not your fault. Up from Reconstructions, right up to 1950, you've done great work. Behind enemy lines, without help. You've done fantastic work. But that stopped after the death of those 4 great men. After people like Andrew Young, the other coons, they misled you. So you've got to get back on track. It's not your fault. You've done a great job. Let me meet myself till Brandon comes in.
You're absolutely right. I mean, with every great effort, you're going to have a Judas. You're going to have a sellout. You're going to have a coon. You're going to have that because people will sell their souls for money.
And we've got to call them out. We've got to expose them because as me as black people, we like to protect them. Because we're loving and inclusive, we tend to be too forgiving. Other ethnics are like that. We don't ethnic that's soften our traitors. Don't say we should shed blood yet. That time's coming. But for now, expose them and isolate them and shame them. That's what I'm saying. Name and shame.
Name and shame them. Yeah, I'm with you.
Hey, let's pass it to go ahead, Brandon. Unmute yourself, Brandon.
Hey, can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, go ahead.
I just think that a lot of us, we're just missing the mark on what the real root of the problem is. You know, it's always this thing where it's like there's this mysterious white guy or this white government that's trying to dismantle everything we're doing and all this stuff. And I think that the success of other groups who have come to America, even in recent times, and been able to forge a blaze of path for success for their people, I think that really flies in the face of of this claim or this belief. I think it exposes, the dishonesty and the disingenuous nature of that position. The reality is, it's not a problem with leadership. It's not a problem with the government. It's not a problem with anything. It's a problem with the people. The reason why we don't have anybody fighting to get anything done in America for Black people is because we don't support the people who fight to help to make progress, right? We support what we want to support. And what people don't understand is a leader's job is not to convince a bunch of people that they need something, right? A leader's job is to identify what people need, what the people want, and then deliver them what they say they want. If somebody says, "Yo, I want to own if 3,000 people say we want a grocery store in our neighborhood," well, a leader will rise to deliver them that grocery store. But what he will do is tell them, "Well, this is what I need you to do," and they'll do it if they really want that grocery store. What we don't understand is what Black people want is not what we're trying to give them, right? So then you get the people like uh the guys these other guys on the internet, say for instance like a Tariq or somebody like that. Tariq, you can't even fault him really for what he's doing because he has an overwhelmingly vocal group of Black people who are supporting what he's doing because that's what they want. If someone gets on here talking about we need to create an economic base for our people, no one's going to watch it. But if someone gets on here talking about who created hip hop, everyone's going to watch it. If someone gets on here talking about, hey, how do we secure positions, high level positions within the government, nobody's going to watch it. But if someone gets on here talking about, yo, we about to have another Freaknik 2022, it's going to be millions of people who not only want to watch, who want to support it, but they're going to get behind it monetarily. What Black people want to do is they want to ignore present degeneracy by referencing past achievements. This is why when you get something like Hidden Colors or something, Black people will not only buy it, they will pay to get it produced, then go buy it on DVD. And they don't even own a DVD player. But if you like, yo, let's create something that gives a blueprint to like to building like gated communities where Black people could live inside safely, free from insulated from the outside world and the potential dangers that we face. Black people aren't interested in that because Black people don't want to live amongst other Black people. Black people want to live amongst white folks. So it's not the leadership. It's not, oh, the white man's coming through, shutting it down. We have to accept, as a whole, our people do not want what we are trying to offer them. So what we need to do is identify the people who do want what we want, kind of like I did with OAP. Dynast, kind of like what you do with your tours, and Go Black, what you do with your message on your channel. You're just identifying the people who want what you have to offer. And we need to learn. What we need to start doing is we need to just start moving forward with those people and just ignoring everybody else because they don't want it ultimately. And what they say is, look at Jackson, Mississippi. They don't want clean water. If they wanted clean water, they would have clean water because I'm sure that the city and the state was doing just like they're doing in California, where they're saying, hey, we're having a drought. The water supply is greatly diminished. Don't run your water while you're brushing your teeth. Wet the toothbrush, brush your teeth, and turn the water. Wet the toothbrush, turn your water off, and brush your teeth. But we know 99.9% of black people gonna let that water run for 30 freaking minutes while they sitting up brushing their teeth, having conversations, taking the biscuits out the oven and everything else. They don't have clean water because they don't want clean water. If they wanted clean water,
Brandon, let me ask you this. So when it comes to we're going to pass it to Fitzgerald. He's the host. Well, yeah, he's our guest. When it comes, I know you do more research into stuff like this, issues like what's going on in Jackson. So the mayor in Jackson is blaming the governor. The governor, he hasn't really made a statement about it. What do you think is really going on?
Dynast, the mayor is full of. Is the mayor? First of all, is the mayor black?
Yes.
Okay, the mayor is full of crap, and let me tell you why he's full of crap. The mayor knew before anybody that the water source was compromised. He knew that before anybody. Projections.
Yeah, Brad. It's been going on for 30 years now.
So why just now? Why just now is the publicity being brought to that situation? If you knew for 30 years it was a problem, why just now is everybody in the nation hearing about it? You should have taken this.
Well, Brandon, what they're saying is that it's the Republican white governor. It's their fault.
Bro, okay, so is the Republican white governor responsible for the fact that Jackson, Mississippi has one of the highest crime rates, murder rates in America, and it's mostly just black people living there, and it ain't the Klan? See, this is what they do.
And STDs.
Right, but this is what they're doing. They're trying to make this a political issue, and they're being even worse because they're trying to make it a race-based political issue. And the reality is, Republican or Democrat don't matter. Those people need water. So instead of the mayor working with the governor to get it fixed, what he's going to do is he's going to isolate the governor. He's going to polarize the situation and create a situation where nothing gets done because the mayor's going to be like, I'll help you, but I'm not going to help you while you're trying to blame it on me. You know what I'm saying? Those cities, they're in control of their own water source. In California, yes, the water source, the state government will help you handle things. But when it comes to your freaking utilities, water, power, all that, cities can decide to do their own thing. I live in Long Beach. LA has LA Department of Water and Power. Long Beach has Southern California Edison. These cities are sovereign in those cases. But it's always the blame game. What Jackson needs to do is get that damn mayor out of there and bring somebody in who's going to handle business and not sit up and play the blame game.
All right, go ahead, Fitzgerald.
No, I'm listening. I appreciate it. I'm soaking in for us for the panelists right now. To Naja. No, I'm sorry. Why do I keep thinking? I must be thinking about it. But to Naja, hope you're doing well. Go back to Africa. Now, is it true, man, that based on I've heard some stories that dynasts go to some of the villages, some of the places even the tour guides are afraid to go to. He makes it seem like it's so cool. And I believe it is, and I do want to go there now. To get back to what Brandon was saying, he's absolutely right. That's the mayor's responsibility, man. He need to galvanize the resources of Jackson to figure that out. That's what he was put there for, to lead. You can't. In the meantime, while things are going on like he did, he said like that. The water problem is. People are suffering for that. So he was put in that lecture to lead. And then we also want to. I hear about I hear the comments on here talks about hey, we don't have to go. We don't have to do this. Where there is some place to accept this, and then also see the comments about hey, the every other group is going there too. Sometimes you have to be a pioneer, ladies and gentlemen. If you ever notice my comments, and I don't talk in the collective. As far as most of when especially don't get ready to make moves. So I'm doing something that's for my benefit. Would I like to work with the collective? Absolutely. But I'm talking about, what can I do to take individual responsibility for my life to go somewhere where I can find my happy place. And that somewhere I really like to see. Now, actually, the man that really kind of divorced me from the collective was actually the SIP police. He made a comment to that and said, "Hey, man, if you can't work with the other collective, you got to really take care of your own interests." It's almost like a righteous selfishness, but I believe in that. Just like Dynast did not wait for everyone to jump on board before he decided to do what he had to do. So you got to find your own. I mean, you got to, at the end of the day, you got to strike out what's best for you and what's best for those you are connected to. If you get to a place where you have someone like-minded to work with you, great, but you can't expect it. But when I talk about moving and going to these places where I would like to see, where I identified a couple of them, I'm not interested in who's following me. I'm not interested in who's going. I'm certainly not interested in, if they don't go, it's going to hinder me. That was a concept, ladies and gentlemen, I learned years ago when I was undergrad, before I graduated college. Believe it or not, there was a time I built like an African god. I was really into bodybuilding, and I started noticing something before. Sometimes Dominique and the Mikes and the gyms, they couldn't come to work out because because their schedules were different than mine, and sometimes they just flat out didn't come. But I was real consistent. I was real doing what I need to do. And so it occurred to me before I left that, I said, I can't really lift as heavy as I did when I had someone to spot me, when I had someone to look out for me, because I don't want to get myself in a situation where I'm going to get hurt if I put too much weight and I don't got someone back there to help me. So I started learning how to work within maximum limits of doing it myself. And because of that attitude, I was able to continue my workout for several years, because I taught myself how to go at it alone. I taught myself, if you don't have the support, the job still has to get done. You still have to make those moves for your betterment. You still have to start that business. You still have to work out. You still have to be successful for what is important to you. You still got to go after it. Man, a lot of times if you wait on a hole and everyone else to join you, someone else to come alongside it, you're going to be waiting a long time. I don't think it's a single man on this panel who hasn't had to face that and had to go at something alone that they've really been in. And I don't think it's really many audience participants in the audience who haven't had to make their own choice yourself. Sometimes you just got to go despite of. Sometimes you really got to take the Field of Dreams quote, if you build it, they will come. And that's what is important to me. So that's why you don't hear me. Well, we was to build this. We was to build it. I used to very much on this channel, but I don't talk in those things. What my speech is, hey, go back to Africa. When you decided to step out there, man, how'd you pick a country? Why'd you pick this country? What's the feel on the ground? How did you make contact? How did you build a support system when you're there? Hey, Prince, man, how did you navigate to get your citizenship? I mean, what did you do to start? And how do you stay? How do you maintain yourself while you're over there? I'm noticing you're dang near in Africa as much as you're in the United States, it seems like. But how did you initially start out? How did you get the vibe of the people? What did you do? Then you can come back and tell. But I'm self-sufficient. I believe I have to persevere and survive first, and then only when I start to thrive, then I can tell somebody about it. But I have no right to speak on experience I don't know, and I have no right to talk about fruit I haven't eaten or I don't have. And so I need to speak out to experts, and that's why I'm looking. That's if I want the layout of the land, as far as in California, which I've never been before. I'm talking to Amir. I know he's from Sacramento. That's Northern California. Or I'm going to shoot Brandon an email. Man, tell me what's it like over there. What do I need to go? You know, I'm hearing about all these things. Tell me, man, how you thrive? I'm hearing you got a big homeless problem over there, but how do I thrive, man? Can you give me a little pointers? I'm looking for that guy with not to the guy just to take me by the hand and say, this is the way you go, little boy. This is the way. Lead here. Let me follow you. No, show me the ropes what I need to do. Because once I know the ropes, I can perfectly augment into any place I need to be down in there. Now that's me. But I think that's what grown folks do. They take responsibility for their own life. There are two basic foundation principles for my show, Find Ways to Win with Fitzgerald Stevens. And here they are. You are responsible for your life, your decision. That is on you. And number two, you got to put in the work. You know, that you have got to put in the work. You are responsible. So get this out, my daddy and my mama, and I was born on the wrong side of the trigger, and I picked this girl, and, you know, they said no, and all that stuff. Get that. You are responsible for your life choices and your life decisions. Own it. You know, and then you got to put in the work. You can't be lazy about your life. You know, it's up to you to get out there. Now, I can sit up there and say all day, hey, go back to Africa, man. I really want to go. I really want to go. I really want to go. Then he tells that, you got bought a plane ticket, Fitzgerald? No, but I really want to go. You know, I really want to go see Africa. I really want to go. Hey, Prince, hey, man, did you register one of my tours? No, but I really want to go. You know, it comes a time, ladies and gentlemen, where you got too much information. You're going into constipation mode. You know, take the little information that you think you know and move on it. Jump out there and do something. And that's what I'm about, man. You know, and it's got to the point like and I referenced Brandon. Let me wrap up. I referenced Brandon. I said, man, Brandon would say, hey, what are we gonna do and stuff. And I'm gonna repeat the same thing back to you guys. Okay, we heard this. We know there's been thousands of shows with the same type of flavor going on. What we need to build or what we need to do. Have you noticed the time is still running in your life? No, I'm 58 Friday. I ain't got time to figure out what the collective gonna do. I need to get out there and talk to people, get counsel, and get counsel, and then only after I get that, then I need to move. I need to make the choices. I need to get online, buy the ticket, pick out a place I want to go, actually sit there, make friends, look at the prices, make sure I got things together as far as that, and I need to experience what I say I want to live. That's on me. You know, let the day do what they want to do. Let all the people side they're gonna bicker among each other, you know, and on both sides of the pond. I'm not caring. I'm looking for a place that I can literally get to a point where, you know what, I feel good about this decision. I'm gonna stick to it, and you know, and I'm gonna enjoy what's the remainder of my life. And I don't care who come with me or not. And very few people have that strength, ladies and gentlemen. Some people gotta wait for their wives that click in, or their husbands that click in, or their mom and dad, or the day crowd, whoever they are, as if they are responsible for you making your choice. But you know, and you are going to be a miserable person like that. You're going to be a very undecisive person because you're always going to be. Do they approve of this? I mean, I hope they support me. I hope they don't think I'm crazy. I got some news for you. They think you're crazy already. They don't really much support you already, provided you're not doing what they think they should support. You gotta have the balls, and you gotta have the ovaries to move at your own drum and your own heartbeat. If you're getting ready to go out there and accomplish things, otherwise you would never be anything. So you know, someone needs to tell you that. You know, Amir, go back to Africa. These channels and these people, they painted the picture. Okay, it's up to you to root on. It's up to you to move on it. What do you need to know? And frankly, here's another lesson, ladies and gentlemen, that go back to Africa, and Amirs are too polite to tell you, but I'm not. You know, here's another thing. When you come to people with a specialized knowledge, and they give you information, and you don't move on the information that they gave you, but yet you come back for more specialized knowledge, they look at you in a real annoying type fashion. They feel a different type of way with you. Oh, they may be too nice like these gentlemen, not to tell you that. They may say it's okay, but it ain't okay, because what you're doing, you're wasting their time, and you're discounting their wisdom that they're having to give you in order to move on. Do you know how many people would love to get taught by these guys? who love to get their counsel, who can't get to them, that they open up their doors to. The best thing you can do for a mentor and anyone that gives you some advice that you said you're sore needing or whatever area is to do what they tell you to do. Especially if you're seeking their results in their life. Do what they tell you to do. And then when you do that, only then when you implement that, then you have a right to come back and ask them for something else. But the first thing they're going to wonder, did you do what I said to you to do? Yes, sir. That makes them feel like, okay, now this is a cat that's really listening. This is a cat I can impart into. If not, but get out your own way. Get out your own way. We know what we need to do. We know what this country has happened. We know what other countries around the world. Get out your own way. I mean, for those in Africa, look at all the immigrants and all the people who don't look like you coming in every day. But for those who are in the United States and Europe, look at all the people, who came from other countries. Some don't even know how to speak the language, or they're carving out niches. And, you have all this advantage, and yet, what's different for them? Simple, as opposed to you. They took action, you didn't. No, so that's my $50 bill, with a gold piece around it, Amir, and I could really expound upon this, man, so much. But Dynast asked two people, and I was the second one, and I'm not going to dare take the credit for where he is, but I'm going to take some today. Before Search for Uhuru ever popped up, there was a cat named Albert Hollis. Before he ever changed it, sorry, we're in here. Used to work, he was a brilliant salesman, charismatic, just like he is now. Making six figures. As a matter of fact, we was talking, I was trying to get on myself, that never worked out. But he said, he talked to one elder, and he asked him, I'm thinking about making a move, something like that, and where you ought to go. And the guy told him, go down to Zanzibar. And then he calls me. He said, Fitzgerald, I got some vacation time. And I said, man, dude, listen, you young. You don't got no things like that. Take your butt over to Africa. That's all I said. That's all I said. Guess what? He took his butt over to Africa. Landing in Zanzibar, where the guy told him it took itself to Africa. Now, my thing, he went all over. And he stopped asking me what I ought to do or where I should go. After he put his feet on the ground, he was a transformed man because he took action on something he believed. No, a success is only going to follow action, ladies and gentlemen. It really is, man. You can have all your think tanks. A lot of y'all cats can sound deep in here. You can actually sound like you're really on it with your philosophies and what everybody should do and what this should be done. What are you doing? No, and it's high time until you understand that. Until you understand that first for you on the individual level, you're never going to achieve anything. You're always going to be one of those people who finna do something. I'm thinking about it. I'm going to do. I should one day. Old man, when I get around that, now I'm too old. Now I'm too fat. Now I got kids and stuff like that. And you're losing precious time. Either you're about it or you're not. And have the courage to live in your conviction. But don't dare sit up there constipating on knowledge and constipating on anything like that. And just go ahead and do it. I started off my channel with one. I did an introduction. I just celebrated, 100 videos a couple of days ago. Growing, and I still call up Amir. Say, man, what do I need to do to get this? He said something, I implement it. And lo and behold, it comes out successful. Why would my 1,225 subscribers? Why wouldn't I talk to a personal friend of mine who has 108,000? And why wouldn't I do what he says before I ask him something else? See, that's the way to follow the game. So Dynast, that's I could close out the whole video for that, man. But that's how I think. And it's a winning and it's a winning strategy. Talk to me, Mr. Jughead.
Hey, yeah. So after Jughead, we'll pass it back to Go Black. Dr. Katie will pass it to Brandon. Go ahead, Jughead.
So I'm sorry, guys. I forgot. I'm at work. I'm thanking super chats. Brandon, Dr. K, Fitzgerald, Go Black, Dynast, love from UK. I gotta go, man. Look, I'll be on tomorrow. Whatever you're, I'll be on to contribute. And you guys have done a great job. African Americans, we love you. Apart from the Coons, Coon Owens, Herschel Walker. I'm sorry, Dynast. Whoopi Koonberg. No, I don't want them. I don't want them. No. You keep Alan Keyes. No, you keep those. But you guys are fantastic. Lowest respect for the UK. Take care.
Appreciate it. Go ahead, Go Black.
Brother. Most definitely. I was putting up the the American flag upside down. You know, for those who know, I served 20 years in the military, and you don't know what an upside down flag means. You know, it means definitely it means the dire distress. America, for some people, I'm going to say, are in dire distress, or it actually can mean extreme danger. And so when I put up this American flag, I was kind of chuckling because many people don't believe such a thing, but for some people, they do believe it. And I believe that this is what our channels are for. Um, I might be in one different place with Dinah's channel. You know, mine, I come a little bit more raw at America and really trying to wake people up and to see that the disadvantages that they may have in one aspect in America, you can find advantages in the continent of Africa or any other country to that effect. But I appreciate that, you know, so many people that I run across um, have been moved, have come visit, have even moved to the continent of Africa. And to answer what Fitzgerald was saying about a place that he is seeking for, a place that might be conducive for him and how he is today, I say this right here, Fitzgerald. Yes, you know, wherever you so desire, I'm quite sure you'll make it. Positive brother like yourself, who's able to start things basically on yourself and figure it out on your own, is really for those who really, those are the type of people who succeed. I see time and time again. I just talked to two people today, right here in Tanzania, who have given up on the whole idea of unification and this whole group thing when it comes to us, because they're realizing, and they're young, they're realizing there's a lot of sick of us who are coming from America who's causing more bad than good. And I told him, I said, you know, in my opinion, I believe every person should separate themselves from the next diasporan and find themselves before trying to venture out, because there's a lot of people who like to gravitate. You know, the old saying, two birds of a feather flock together, and two birds of a feather, whatever they say, you know, they flock together. And this is how we are as a people who cannot stand on their own, people who can't figure it out, people who just don't have that mindset to be able to get things moving. They will flock together and try to lean on, get people to carry their weight. They will try to wait for things to be done and get in on the end at the end of it instead of on the forefronts. These people cost you a lot of time and effort, like you were saying, Fitzgerald, that I'm quite sure Dinah's deals with, I deal with, that who will waste your time, who will try to suck you dry of your energy and your efforts. And they exist. But my hat's still off to them for making a move, coming to venture, coming to look, coming to see. But I do not try to connect myself in those groups because I myself know already we have a lot of cleaning to do, detoxification. We got a lot of purging to do. You know, we have a lot of this mess in us that we got to get out of us. We bring that stuff over from America over here, to include myself, that I check myself so many times of this garbage that I bring into the continent as well, that I know I'm not healthy for nobody else. So I have to be on my own desert island per se. I have to be in my own space and get me right. I have to do for my inner circle, me and my family. I got to figure out what I can do for them first before I do for anybody else. That's not selfishness. I cannot be healthy for anybody else unless I'm healthy for me and mine. And so I say to people is, you know, you have to figure out ways to do for self. If you're one that's dependent upon a system in America, you're going to be in a world of trouble coming to America. If you're dependent on borrowing money from people and people always people always got to help you out and dig you out of your hole, you're not going to make it in Africa. If you can't think for self, if you can't create for yourself, you are going to have a struggle in Africa. We have to get to a place of what Brandon's been saying, is that we like to point fingers at everybody else, and the truth tells on you when you come to Africa. I did a video. You scream that the white man destroys black families. You scream that the white man has done all these things against us. But when you come to Africa, you fail. You divorce your wife. You divorce your husband off of your own doing. You fail in your business. White men had nothing to do with that, from your own doing. So this is nothing more than an eye opener to see how we fail as a people. And once we get a revelation of that, then we're able to move forward. But we have to acknowledge that that yes, stop blaming the white man. Because yes, there are those traps and those potholes or obstacles in our path in America that we already know, but we wise men know how to navigate through it. I'm looking at men right here who are living in America who, per se, of their own words, have found their successes, their own successes. So there's ways through navigating through it. But I say that even in Africa, they're finding now, Donis has found, hey, this is a gold nugget that he's building, that Africa has promoted him into a position to help people out, but also build businesses that he's doing, no different than Brandon, in Kenya, and have businesses that he's doing. These are things that we should diversify our portfolio. I ain't telling everybody you got to move to Africa. Let Africa be part of your portfolio. Everybody knows about diversification. Everybody talking about, having these different forms of streams of income and all this right here. Put Africa in your portfolio. Put it on there. Why? Because you got 54 countries. You can put your money into different countries and have different investments, different returns. While one economy is going up, one might go down, but it's okay, because your money still will be able to stand strong as you diversify. Mutual funds, as they call it, or when you have these portfolios that are diversified, that your money's stronger when you spread it out. This is things that I see beyond than just coming to Africa, getting a house, and living happily ever after. There are people out there who's for that. Me, it's spreading it out, because my thing is that the more I spread out my wings, the more successful I see that is. The dollar just happened to do really good in Africa. The dollar's doing great in some economies in Africa. When I can come and I can get 2,300 shillings per $1. You go to Ghana now, where it was just 5 months ago, 7 CDs I get for $1. It's 10 point something CDs per $1 now. And that tells me that, you know what, I can gain more off of $1 and be able to do more off of that $1. So I just want to share that this world is a big world. Get out of the indoctrination that they told you. This land is your land. This land is my land. Get out of that mindset. Get out of the mindset that you think
Fitzgerald, finish your song, Fitzgerald. I know you know the words.
I'm laughing.
I used to see that song in elementary school. I was trying to sing the song. I know Fitzgerald know the words.
We all know.
Land is your land.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which is.
When they are great.
We know all of that. We know all that. God bless America, land that I love. We know all those words because they indoctrinated it into us. I got to raise my hand. I believed in that. That's all I knew. I joined the military for 20 years to fight for a country and had to realize in 15 years of it, they didn't give a dang about me. So I had to look at what was best for me. And that's what this whole platform thing is, opening people's eyes up. And I appreciate your channel, Donis, for you having these subject matters that I can come on, express my view, and that, many other people have channels that can express your views, exposing, there's pros in America, there's those cons that are in America. My thing is that open your eyes up. Stop being so patriotic to a country that really we have sometimes not the best foot forward in really winning a race when we are on the line with, or 10 yards behind when others are on that starting line, and we have to make up the difference. So with that, family, my wife just called me. I appreciate you, Donis. Appreciate you, Fitzgerald and Brandon and everybody else. Peace and blessings to each and every one of you all.
I appreciate it, brother. Thank you, brother. And guys, let's before we move past it to Dr. K, guys, do me a favor, hit the like button. Also, if you have not bought the documentary yet, please go to searchforuhuru.com and buy the documentary. If not bought the documentary yet, please go to searchforuhuru.com and purchase the documentary. All right, Dr. K, then we'll pass it to Brandon. Go ahead, Dr. K.
Yeah, it was good. What's good, everyone? So what I wanted to say here is that I'm a scientist, right? So that means I believe in numbers. So when it comes to any kind of pioneering project, you're only going to get 20% or less of the people who are going to be able to commit action into movement. So what I'm trying to say is people like Brandon, people like Go Black, people who like even Amir, etc., who've actually gone to the ground, made certain roots. These people are going to exist, and I don't think it's necessarily bad that the rest of the people won't really do it right now, because I think most people they're not pioneers and they don't have that entrepreneurial mindset, and that's fine. What they could do is what they're already doing right now, which is supporting the channel, sending super chats that actually allows content creators who, let's say, are doing businesses or are on the ground on certain spheres, can actually continue to pay the bills, etc. So there's different ways that they can actually contribute to this whole kind of movement. And then once we do have like a road, like an infrastructure of like diasporans on the ground who are already kind of working within certain spheres, that's when that they can now come in once they feel more safe, because we can't change the nature of man. Some people are exactly what they are. They love the stability of America. They love the fact that they can get a paycheck, they can rely on it to pay off certain responsibilities. And I think it's fine. That's just how they are. But the 20%, I think that's what we're trying to reach out to. And those 20%, it's great if we can really create a network, a really interesting network of intracontinental countries, whereby we can expand this network. We can figure out someone who's doing specific things, so that if someone, let's say, Sister Audrey Kemi wants to come to Kenya, she can hit me up. Then she can go through the whole process of figuring out where to rent the house, how much it's for, just the whole thing, so that you can remove some of the setbacks that is definitely going to happen when you're pioneering into a new environment. I also want to say something to the Pan-Africans. I think a lot of you are seeking brotherly or sisterly connection with people on the continent, and I think that's great. But I think when you do go there, you might see that they don't really care, and I think that's actually what you should be expecting. I think that is actually the right thing. Why? Because in Africa, they just see you like their brother. They're not thinking of you as special or worse. It's not like America, where they're going to be, certain people are going to look at you and then put certain, thoughts about you, like the police. No, in Africa, they'll think like of you just like themselves. That's why they won't treat you in any special way, negative or positive. So I say, those who do are going to do, and shout out to you guys. And those who can't do right now, continue supporting the content creators and etc. And I think that's one way you can really contribute to help the movement. And when it's stable enough for you, come in and join us.
All right, I appreciate that. Go ahead, Pan Africans. Go ahead, Brandon.
Yeah, I agree with Go Black, and I agree with what Kaizo's saying. Especially with Go Black, when Go Black is talking about like America, how people, they're in America, they act like they act patriotic and all this stuff. I mean, the reality is Black people are not patriotic. Black people are not loyal to America. Black people say whatever they have to say to make people, to try to guilt trip people into giving them free shit. That's ultimately what the Black man's like goal is in America. Let's try to put this guilt trip on this guy. It's just like the Native Americans, right? The Native Americans, before white people came to America, the Native Americans were slaughtering each other over land and everything else. Run in, scalp the whole damn tribe, kill the women, the children, take the women as slaves, take the children as slaves, all because they want these hunting grounds or whatever. Soon as the white man came and started whooping their ass, all of a sudden it became about the Great Spirit, and the Great Spirit has bestowed this land, and it's all spiritual, and the rain dance, and we're brothers, and let's smoke them peace pipe and stuff. They didn't decide to become peaceful and sensitive and soft and brotherly until they were facing a superior force. And that's really what Black people are doing too. Look at the situation in Jackson, Mississippi. Black folks play a very clever game, and if you're not Black, if you're Black and you're open and your eyes are open, you're hip to it. What do Black people say? When there's white leadership, we say, oh man, a Black person could do better than that white person is doing, right? Soon as the white person concedes the power or the mantle and gives it over to a Black person, and the Black person realizes that the job is harder than they thought it was, and they run into the same hurdles that white person was facing, oh, you know what they do? They blame it on the white man. We can do better at the job, but then when we realize the job ain't easy, oh, it's the white man's fault. He's holding us back. No, maybe it was a hard job. That's why the white man wasn't so successful at it. And now you took the job, and you got the job because you thought your skin color was going to make you better or more qualified to deal with it. Now you're running into the same hurdles as he has. And what do? You don't even work to fix the problem because you know you got the scapegoat of, oh yeah, the white man is trying to hold me back. The reason why a lot of us are so averse to going to Africa or opposed to it is because we don't have the white man as an excuse in Africa. Some of us still try to stretch it. Oh, the white man controls everything in Africa. But ultimately, when you go to Africa, 99.9% of the faces you're going to see is going to be black. You can't blame them. So the next thing you got to say is, oh, they're not going to give us special treatment in Africa. Well, you just said that America's not giving you special treatment. So you're going to run from one place. So you got in America, you're not getting special treatment. You're still a victim, even though America is giving you all types of special treatment. The white man hates you so much that he gives you all types of perks and benefits and Section 8 and EBT and everything else, but he hates you. But then you go to Africa and they don't got none of that. And you're like, oh no, they don't like us and stuff like that. We're just constantly on this, we're just constantly making up excuses based in hypocrisy. White man hates us, but he gives us all these perks. We can't go to Africa because they won't give us perks. It doesn't make any sense. It's just all excuses to not do anything. And Kaizo, he's right. The African ain't gonna look at you nothing special. He gonna just look at you as like you a black man. You my brother, you my sister. That don't mean I'm about to give you my house. That don't mean I'm about to give you my car, right? But guess what? Isn't that what we say we want? Isn't that what we say we want? The African is gonna look at you as an equal. You don't like that. But the white man won't look, but you demanding that the white man look at you as an equal. The reality, Dynast, is it's all a lie. We want to be looked at as dependents. We mad at the white man. We claim we want equality to the white man. But the minute he treats us as true equals, oh, he's a racist. And he's not accounting for the advantage he had. So he needs to give us little perks and unique benefits and entitlements. You go to Africa, where they truly look at you as an equal. Oh, where's our benefits? They owe us. They need to give us a safety net. Black people are lying to the entire world saying that they want to be equals. In reality, no, they don't. They want to be dependents. They don't want to go anywhere where they're equals. They want to go where they could try to depend. They can depend and lean on somebody else. This is why Africa is totally unappealing, because in Africa, you're a true equal and no one has anything to give you. So then you rather stay in America, claim you want equality, while at the same time fighting to remain dependent. You're fighting for reparations. That's a dependent. You want them to give you money out of their pocket. That's a dependent. But then at the same time, you saying you want equality. It's all a lie.
Hey, Brandon, let me ask you something real quick that goes right along what you're saying. It hasn't gained much attraction on YouTube, but it is gaining some that made me look at it. I saw a story that came out of Ghana, where it's supposedly for some reason it's a hot spot for African Americans. I'm not exactly sure, but there were some people over there, and it's been more than one case where I'm seeing Black Americans go over there, and they're coming back to America talking about Africa is on some type of BS because we don't have goods and services over here, and that fits right along with what you're saying. Not all, but enough. But usually uses the loudest one and sometimes get some attention simply because they're expecting some like the American amenities experience over there, and they find out real quick, that's a whole nother, for most part, a different world and a different mentality. Yeah, you're seen as equal in every single way. Now get about it. There is no safety net. So when you was talking about that, man, I was thinking about that, but it goes right along what you're saying.
Hey, Fitzgerald, on my channel, I've been doing a takedown of all these so-called black revolutionary and movements and stuff. Man, I have a Panther on my channel telling you, everybody, we were never black nationalists. We did not want our own nation. We wanted to change things in America. We have twisted what our ancestors fought for into something that it really is not. There has never been a movement in America by black people that consisted of black people wanting to upend the white government for a better government run by blacks. It's all been about acceptance. They want to make sure that they're more comfortable getting their ass whooped by white folks and stuff like that. There has never been a concerted effort to abandon this place and go somewhere where you can truly be treated as equals. So to be in the only revolution by black people that has ever taken place in America is Pan-Africanism. Nothing else, not Nation of Islam, not Black Panthers, not the Black Liberation Army, not the RBG movement, nothing. All those things were all those people and those movements were all about militant integration. That's it. We want to force this white man to let us come up in his spaces and eat his food and give him our money. The only revolutionary movement in the history of America launched by black people is Pan-Africanism. And that's why everybody hates it. That's why everybody attacks it. FBA, even you got some people who are supposed revolutionaries and stuff, like the Uhuru movement, that stuff by that other guy, Baba Yachetti, whatever his name is, they all attack Pan-Africanism because Pan-Africanism is the only revolutionary idea that has been created by black people for black people in America. If you are not a Pan-Africanist, you are not a revolutionary, and you are a traitor to your race. And I just want to say that full stop.
Go ahead, gas them up.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
All I want to say is there's just two type of niggas in this world. It's the niggas with the guns and the niggas with the butter. Guns and butter. You understand me, Dynast?
Yeah, thank you for the baby boy quote. Thank you.
Nah, I'm just silly. Listen, look. In reference to the topic, as a booty scratching tether, I will say, yeah, I think that in terms of the what you see in the media, and it's done purposely. I send you emails on the back end all the time. I send it to Brandon all the time, just showing you how these people are twisting the minds of black people in America. And the most insidious thing that they're doing is they're confusing black people in America to assume that any black celebrity or any black person in entertainment, sports, or whatever is a part of their so-called community. And that's how all things get twisted. That's how, drug dealers celebrated. No different, so I think I'm Big Meech, Larry Hoover, no disrespect to any of those guys. But Big Meech brought poison in the community, and he celebrated through this media, right? And so it's no different than doing the slave trade. You had people like Jaja Pobo being celebrated, Nana Avishakiri being celebrated. I'm sure there were songs about them back then, and all this other nonsense. So I think black people in America have to get to a point where they divorce themselves from white definitions, largely being the media and what's defining them. As for Kaizo's comment in reference to, Africa, yeah, definitely. Africa has problems. Africa, in terms of doing business, is not easy. I'm on the ground in Africa doing business. It's definitely not easy to get things done in banks and this and that.
Scammers,
it's not easy going to
and steal from you.
Say that again.
Africans will scam and steal from you.
Yeah, but that's no different than the American government. You have to understand there's a context as to why Africans are in the conditions that they are in when it comes to modernity. And you and I have talked about this many a times. You haven't won that debate. You've ran away from it. But the truth of the matter is, Africans are playing at modernity because they really don't understand it. And I was talking about the Dunning-Kruger effect the last time I was on Dynasty Show. You can Google it. Dunning-Kruger effect, Murray's Law. This is what's really happening in Africa. The African pride, right? The people who are on the continent are too proud to admit that, hey, man, we don't have a grasp of Western, technology, of Western, inventions and how we can apply them to our daily lives. So I just was reading an article about the number of building collapses that are occurring all throughout Africa. especially Kenya and Nigeria. And again, I brought this up with Dennis a few months back. Like, hey, listen, you have mud architecture all throughout Mali, and no one investigates this. No one looks at it. No one says, hey, listen, let some of our engineers see how we can, bring this to scale. I'm not an engineer, so just take it with a grain of salt, because I can see the science people. Oh no, you can't do it. Blah blah blah. But who cares? But wait, hold on, because you're jumping at the bits to kill Africans, right? You hate them. They're dusty, according to you. But at the end of the day, I'll give another example. Dinus was talking about the airport in Senegal, brand new, and now the dispensers don't work. And I said, hey, why not get rid of the dispensers? Why not just have a packet of soap? So as soon as you come out the bathroom, you grab a packet of soap. It's right there. You pick it up, open up the packet, pour the soap in your hands, drop the packet in a bin, open up the sink, wash your hands, boom, close it, and you're good. So we're not coming up, the Africans are not coming up with creative alternative ways to engage with modernity. They're just trying to copy wholesale. Some things in many things that they really don't have a grasp on. That's why I said the Dunning-Kruger effect, is they're really overestimating their ability to engage with modernity. So, I think with the topic, yes, I think the media, particularly and especially, are keeping Black people in America just stuck in this nonsense. And I'm sorry, people, you're gonna have to get rid of Jay-Z. You're gonna have to let go of Beyonce. You're gonna have to let go of LeBron James and your favorite sport athletes, John Morant. They're all puppets. They're not gonna sit down there and do the best thing for Black people. They're really not. 9 out of 10, they're not gonna do it.
Right.
And if you go to Africa, like guys was saying, yeah, go ahead.
People hold these celebrities such regard are the kinds of people that are already useless, right? You don't want those people near you. They're already,
but that's majority of people around the world.
Right, exactly. But that's why I said in my earlier point, the 20% are the people you want to work with. The rest of the people, you want nothing to do with these people, because no matter what task you give them, they're going to be they're going to be the break within the bridge. They're going to be the weak point. So I say, look, let those people do whatever they want. Once they see that we're doing something, they're going to want to join in the parties. Like if you're going to build a pool, most people are not going to help you dig out the hole and then fill it up with plaster and even get the water. No, they're going to be there waiting for the water to be ready. However, what we can do is we're going to charge them money to get into the pool. So they're going to have to pay $10 to use the pool. So at the end of the day, I agree with you, yes, in most of the respect. And I think especially the point about modernity. Well, I believe the reason why we're not interacting with modernity in the right way is because we inherited these technologies, or we bought them. AKA, we didn't build in Kenya, we didn't build the SGR, the standard gauge railway by ourselves. Some of our engineers were our engineers, but most of the engineers were Chinese. We don't have the technology. We can't recreate it by ourselves. So the point here is we don't even know the struggle, the meaning, the nuances of what it means to engage with these technological concepts. That's why, like as you mentioned, something is built today, 2 weeks later it's broken, and they can't find like creative way to solve the problem because they're not thinking about solving the problem. Because I keep seeing this all over the place. In Africa, for example, a woman would rather go on her knees with a kitambaa, right? Kitambaa is the rug, right? And clean. I'm sure it's the same thing in Nigeria, right? She doesn't want to use the modern broom, right? Why? For her, she's used to it. She thinks it's more efficient, and it's true. It's more efficient to use a piece of rug, but it ruins your back. They're not thinking about all these modern concepts because it's just not there. They didn't go and then evolve through the sociological concepts of, okay, I need to improve this because it's going to help me in this direction. I need to increase the enjoyment of when I'm using the latrine. That's why you still see some places where they have pit latrines, right? There's no reason why they should be there. But these people are not thinking. I agree with you. They're not engaging with modernity in any kind of meaningful manner. And I think there's no really solution to that.
But that's not a bad thing, nor is it a good thing. It just means that it's something that in many aspects is alien to their culture. And to a large degree, yeah, it's the world that we live in. It's the system that we're under. And so we do have to find a middle ground. But that's why I don't call them dusty. That's why I don't call them, names. When I walk into the bank in Nigeria, the other day I walked into the bank in Nigeria to get dollars. Of course, they look you up and down. They give the guy in the nice suit. They reserve the dollars for him. And, they want to give you the crappy $50 bill. And they want to keep it. That's, unfortunately, that just is what it is. I can't change those things. However, what I want to say in terms of the psychological aspect of being in Africa, for me, as someone who's in America, I can be a man in Africa. I just had an argument with a dude who tried to hit me. I was on Okada today. I told him, go after yourself, your mother. He was, cursing at me, and we was about to go at it. And I guess his wife told him to keep driving. You really can't do that. I can't be a man in America. I mean, of course you can be a man, but, even on the job, you raise your voice too loud. The white lady that you work with feels scared. The black lady, she, if she's a sellout black lady, she'll, snitch on you and write a report. Next thing you in HR's face. You can't be a man in America. You can't be a man. This is just my experience. It's just my opinion. But you are not able to be a man. Let your nuts hang. Let your balls swing. They don't let you do that in America. Black women will henpeck you. The white system will come after you. But in Africa, I can be a man. With all its problems, I can still fight. I can yell. I can scream. I can be a man on this continent. You're stripped of manhood in America. And I think you're not understanding that. So when you see, I think, yeah, in the short term, there are dusties, but there are dusties all over the place. We're talking of scams. Biggest scammers, Kyle, you can admit this. Biggest scammers are the Russians and the Israelis in terms of fraud that's done online. It's not the Nigerians.
Yeah,
the biggest scammers are so again, why do we come down on the Nigerians when the biggest scammers are the Russians and the Israelis?
Oh no, why? It's because Nigerians are the ones who's gonna scam me, and Russia's gonna scam a big company.
That's not true. That's not true. Russian is gonna scam. That's because you're not in America. Not back in the UK. Go back to the UK and try to open up some sort of a crypto account or some sort of offshore trading account and see the type of accent you hear over the phone line. I'm just saying, because Africans are dusty to a certain degree, but dustiness comes in all forms and sizes. And just because the Americans and Europeans know how to put their dustiness in a Brooks Brothers suit and call it an economic package, doesn't mean that they're any less dusty. At least the African has the courtesy, to rob with the gun.
Gas them up. So, like, as far as for the topic, are we stuck in the past? Are we innovating to move forward? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I said it. Yeah, black people in America, in particular. I mean, did you see the reaction with your video? I called them, but I had to take care of something. What they were talking about, the Afro beats and all that other nonsense, and the people like, no, man, pop, and they was stuck in, like you said, the Up in Smoke tour in '99. It's like, dude, let it go. It's done. Right? Let it go. Because I don't know anybody's even celebrating that crackhead music called Afrobeats anyway. All your favorite Afrobeat musicians are crackheads. They're all on drugs. These people are all retarded people. Go to Lecky and see what they're doing. They're all taking drugs, making, what is it, San or Rumba clave derivatives of 3/2 clave beats. That's all they're doing. Nothing special. So yeah, but the question is, how are they, kept in that circuit of reliving the so-called 90s?
The whole slavery thing. They need to get over that whole slavery thing. Black Americans need to.
You would never say that to a Jewish person, Kaizo. Don't say that publicly, man. Come on.
100% would. See, that's the other thing.
Okay, when you would be canceled. You would be canceled. We don't say that. Even if you would say that to a Jewish person, I don't think we should say it. We don't tell Jewish people, Kaizo, no one tells Jewish people forget the Holocaust. When Donald Sterling, is that his name, the guy that owned the Clippers, did you hear the leak tapes when that the black chick he was with were going back and forth, and she said, oh, our people were enslaved, and he said, you must be out of your mind or something like that to compare slavery to the Holocaust. It's a special thing for them.
It's answering the question that the brother asked. Are black people stuck in the past? 100%.
But then why would you bring up slavery? No, they're not stuck on slavery. No, they're not stuck on slavery. No, they're not stuck on. You can't say that as an African on the continent. That's a disrespectful thing to say. This is why FBA people get mad at Africans, because we're not being considerate when we speak. You can't say that publicly about that. That's a terrible thing to say. Because listen, guys, well, you're East African, but the reason why I have a sensitivity to it is because at the end of the day, I look at it and say, wait, listen, no, as a West African, as I'm not Nigerian. I'm not Nigerian, but as a West African, I feel that I could have been sitting down there. Well, my people didn't engage in the slave trade as far as the records show, but I could have been sitting down there in my great ancestors sitting down there in eastern Nigeria in, let's say, 1653, and some freaking rogue people came, snatched my people away, took them away, and then in the year 2022, the great brother of my cousin who was taken from me is beefing with me because of ignorant statements like what you just said. No, slavery is not something that you tell people to forget.
Let me give you an example, right? You mentioned the Jews. The Jews use their oppression, right? They call it the Holocaust, right? They use it to get power and put their people in powerful positions, steal a country. They stole a whole country, and okay, they were given a whole country. Let me rephrase that, and they were able to make something use of it. Now, when it comes to Black Americans, unfortunately, they're also given a country, Liberia. They didn't do the same job that the Jews did. That's one. Second thing, when it comes to slavery, I mean, Black Americans don't seem to be able to walk and chew the gum at the same time, meaning too many of them get stuck in the noble victim mentality. And you know exactly what that is, right? Noble victim mentality is when you utilize your morality to go and say, okay, look, we're here. It's what Brandon was talking about earlier, whereby you blame everything on the system, you blame everything on the white man. Yet, if you actually did remove yourself into Africa or other regions, you wouldn't be able to succeed either, because the fundamental point is that you're missing something in yourself and accountability. So the issue is, Black people, we cannot walk and chew gum at the same time. If we could,
yeah, that sounds like every Joe Rogan episode. Listen, I don't talk about so-called victim mentality without talking about the victimizers. The problem with your narrative is that it's this matter of fact, but it turns into a cul-de-sac, right? That's what it's this matter of fact, rational, reasonable, logical white boy arguments, and when you start really analyzing them, it just sounds like rehashed 17th century David Ricardo, Ahmed gobbledygook. That's all these guys are doing. If you're saying the victim mentality, you're not talking about the victimizers. Are we not going to talk about redlining? Are we not going to talk about stop and frisk? Because to act as if Black people are just crazy to say, hey, things are still happening today. Now, no one's saying that people don't take advantage and misuse things. No one's saying that doesn't happen. But to act as if in 2022, there still isn't systemic racism, there still isn't systemic bias towards Black people.
There's no such thing as racism. I've never experienced racism.
Okay, fine then. So you've never experienced it, Kaizo, and that's what I'm saying. You've never experienced it, Kaizo. You've never experienced it, Kaizo. Listen, you've never experienced it because you're a privileged, well-to-do African. You're a privileged, well-to-do African child who grew up, with rich parents. You probably had a housemaid in Kenya. You're able to afford to fly back and forth between Kenya and the UK. You got your PhD. You got some money, and now you go back to Kenya. And you're angry because the Kenyan system didn't roll out the red carpet for you. That's all that is. But at the end of the day, racism is real. If you don't experience it, that's great. I pray you never experience it. But I experience racism on a daily basis, even in Africa. Because when I go to the airports, in Nigeria, they still smile and kiss up to the white guy a lot faster. And then I have to make a scene and say, you're crazy, because in his country, they don't give me any passes. Same thing when I'm in America. So if you're telling me racism isn't real, hey, listen, come to America and live with us. And this is what gives the Tariq Nasheeds strength and veracity in their arguments, because you say these ignorant things without putting it into proper context and perspective. And at the end of the day, if racism isn't real, then why do you guys still come on these Black-dominated shows, these predominantly Black African-minded shows? Just stay over there, go on the Joe Rogan Experience, and hang out with the white boys, and hang out with the Andrew Tates and the Jake Pauls and the Paul boys of the world and the KSIs, and live in your fantasy of no racism. Why come around the Black people like the Go Blacks to Africans? And why do that? That's the part that's confusing me. If there's no racism.
No, I love Black people, right? I want to be with my people.
No, there's no racism.
No, look, listen. There's no racism. It's true. I'm not there because I hate them. I'm here because I love my people. You see, there's a difference. I don't have to hate white people to love my people. So I'm not in with the white people because I don't love them, but I love my people. I want to change my people's mindsets. I want to empower them. And what I've noticed is Black people love to keep talking about the white man. There's no racism at all. It's a myth. Where racism existed in the past, right now it doesn't. There's no such thing. I think the sooner we stop, projecting this racist idea, right? That's racist, in fact, to project the idea that
You don't know, Kaizo. Again, your definitions are still marred and deeply embedded within whiteness. And this is what I've told you this. Like you're still, like Nas said. I say it all the time. Let me give you an example. Nas said probably one of the greatest disses of all time. That's why I'm not even a Jay-Z fan. I care less about that camel. But he said, "You're still a slave to a page in my rhyme book." And black people, black intellectuals, are still enslaved to the pages of the white man's book, whether it be David Ricardo, whether it be Karl Marx, whether it be Milton Friedman. We're still entrapped by the thought processes of white men. Almost all of us, myself included, I'm sure. I'm not above or better than my people. But when you say racism, you're trying to say that's racism. No, what is racism? Racism is the ability to affect. I'm giving you the definition. Because racism entails power. If you don't have the power, you can read another white guy, right? Slave to a page. You can read Foucault and find out more about power and power dynamics, right? Read on those things. What does the power entail? That is, if a white guy can sit down there with the stroke of his pen, just because of another person's skin color, affect their life, that's racism. Just because a black guy says, "I don't like white boys," or "I don't like whitey," that doesn't make me racist. I may be prejudiced, I may be racially biased, perhaps, but that doesn't mean I'm racist, because racist entails power. And so what you guys are doing, what you're doing, these matter-of-fact Joe Rogan type analysis is, in order to cross over and be mainstream so white people don't feel threatened, to come with these new age definitions that allow white people to create an scapegoat. No, it's just rich and poor, man. It's not about racism. Well, if that's the case, how come every time Oprah goes to Italy, she gets the nigga treatment? How come every time? Okay, so Oprah never got treated racist in Italy. Is that what you're saying? Because the videos are there.
She got the treatment of "I am not known as a rich black woman" treatment, which is just.
Oh my God, dude! They're throwing bananas at black. They were throwing bananas at Balotelli. What are you saying, Kaizo? Are you on cocaine?
No,
they were throwing bananas at Thierry Henry. They were throwing bananas at African football players. Did that happen? Yes or no?
That's not racism. Yes, it has happened.
So throwing bananas at African football players is not racism.
Of course not. Right.
It must be a party. You know what? Listen, when I get on the plane, I'm going to tell them to throw me with some bananas.
All these knowledge,
it's a party,
and racism stuff. It puts you behind. You actually care someone threw a banana at you. Seriously, a banana. A banana is gonna perturb your day so much.
Dude, I personally don't care. But again, what you're saying is you're
black men.
The problem is
being men again, right? You gotta stop crying about racism.
That doesn't mean that I'm not no. That doesn't. When you say cry, there's no crying about racism. You're analyzing.
That's what
you're analyzing. You don't know what it is to analyze. Like I said, the problem is you have a PhD in physics, Newtonian physics, right? You're still enslaved by that white man, Isaac Newton, page book. Quantum physics, same thing. Whether it's Niels Bohr or Einstein, you're still enslaved by white man's quantum physics. The point still remains. They're black intellectuals who have done a much better job, like Chinwezu, like Walter Rodney, who have done a much better job, like Dr. John Henrik Clark, who have done a much better job analyzing, like Dr. Francis Cress Welsing, analyzing the psychological damage of racism that you hard science people fail to realize. And you guys poo-poo philosophy, not realizing that the science that you cherish so much as your replacement god actually used to be called I'm going to tell you, I'm going to let you respond after this. Your science that you guys replace as your new engineer god used to be called natural philosophy. That's the mistake you guys make. You don't do a good enough job studying the history of the subjects that you guys get your PhDs in. Because if you did, you would realize that there's a psychological impact when it comes to racism. So if you are a star football player and they're throwing bananas at you and they're not doing it to anybody else, there's a psychological impact of racism. And if you dismiss it, maybe you're the strongest black guy we know. Write a book and tell us how to survive.
It's quite simple, Gastama. First of all, this is why thank you for bringing all this up, because it's really curtailing exactly what I was talking about, is the weakness within the black man becoming a subservient creature that thinks whiteness, right? You see, the reason why the footballer is crying about a banana being chucked at him, which doesn't make sense, right? Because there's no physical harm on him, right? Is because he puts the white man on a pedestal. When a white man does it, it's this whole white Jesus narrative, right? It's a white man is right at the top. Now, if he does something to me that I don't like, it is so bad and it's going to make me feel so bad. I'm alienated from his society, again, from his society. There's all these things is triggered because of our willingness and our wanting to be accepted within the mainstream white society, which is, again, what I keep calling is weakness. Now, for example, if someone was throwing something that's going to physically harm him, that's wrong, obviously. A psychological harm because it's racist, that's BS. There's no such thing as racism that exists right now. The laws are against it. You can't, all those things. Racism is a myth. Now, what you're talking about, that's called simple tribal, intertribal game distinctions, right? The white man will throw a banana at you. You can pick, if I was him, I'll pick it up and I eat it and I'll go and enjoy the game and I'll make my millions, because that's exactly what it is. This man has ability to have so much money. There's no racism, gas them up. You gotta leave that narrative behind. It's
Yeah, that sounds great. That sounds great. And too bad you're saying there's no racism. Too bad you're hiding away in Kenya, but you're not back in the UK. Go to the
Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and close out. Hey, everyone, thank you so much for joining. Like, share, subscribe. Well, hold on. First of all, before we close out, Mr. Brother Stevens, you have anything else you want to say in closing?
Hey, thank you for having me on, Dynast. I thank the audience for your participation, and look forward to hearing you. Look forward to spending some time with you guys next time. Have a great day.
Okay, everyone, thank you so much for joining. Like, share, subscribe, and go dogs.
Go dogs.
Go dogs. Go dogs. Hey, there you go, Fitzgerald. Go dogs. Peace.
Peace. Bye, guys.